Hi, this is Sunil Manji, Senior Principal Solution Architect at Elastic. This is another demonstration. In the previous video, we did a setup of the Docker client of Elastic Conductor. This video is going one step further, which is basically saying, hey, I want to launch Elastic Conductor GKE, which is GCP, and I want to possibly launch OpenTelemetry Demo or ECK. But this video demonstration will simply focus on setting up the authentication so that you can launch the assets in GCP. Everything is documented in the repo. So if you go to Elastic Conductor Docker client, and you scroll down and you have the Docker image up and running. Scroll down to GCP section, and this is essentially what we'll be reviewing today. So here's my local file system. I am not inside my container just yet. I have a folder called Conductor Demo, and you can see here within the demo, I have Elastic Conductor, the Git repo. And I also already have the image. So if you don't have that, you'll have to go back one video and take a look at setting that up. It's pretty simple. So to run this, it's pretty simple, but you got to do a couple of steps. One is when you go into Elastic Conductor, this is my local file system, and I go to GCP and to terraform.tfvars, and I like to change this username to something that is relevant because it will tag all the assets that you deploy with a project name. This is different than the GCP project name, which we'll get to in just a moment. So I like to first save this. And then I go back, and now that I've saved that, I want to now get into my Docker image so I can have the authentication set up. So as we described in the previous video, you're running a Docker run, and you're mounting the local file system where the Conductor repo is, and that's why I manipulated that file, the terraform.tfvars. I manipulated that locally, and that file system is mounted on the image, so you'll see all the changes. So let's go ahead and enter the image. So I'm inside the image now, and you can see that all the entire file system that's within my image mimics what's on my local file system. So we're good. So the first step is I want to run gcloud init. And I'm not going to execute this because it pumps out a private link. It basically says, hey, I want to verify who you are, but it's super simple. At the end of this, it's going to say, hey, go to a browser, and the browser is going to return you a code verifying that you are who you are. And then you enter the code here. But I'm not going to do that because a lot of that's private information. So I'm going to skip that and do that here offline. So I was able to now run gcloud init. It asked me for the code, which I received from the browser. And then it did ask me, what project are you a part of? And I entered what GCP project that I'll be using. The next step is to run gcloud init auth application default. Now, I've heard some say that you don't necessarily have to do this if you do gcloud init. However, because I have OCD, I just want to have all the steps documented. Do it. It's not a big deal. Run this. This is documented. It'll basically go through the same steps. So now I've authenticated using gcloud init and gcloud default auth. That was really simple. It took me just a moment to do it offline. The last thing you want to do is set up your GCP project. So the automation, you can set your GCP project a couple different ways. You can go into the terraform.tfvar files and hard code it there. I rather not do that. I like to set up as an environment variable. So you do export TFR GCP project and then your GCP project name, whatever you've been assigned to. Then you hit enter, and that is now available when the automation runs. It refers to that local, that variable GCP project. And that's it. So once you have those three steps, now you're able to run the automation to go create your OpenTelemetry or ECK and clusters on top of GKE, which is the first step of any creation, is first creating the Kubernetes environment. Thanks for watching.